So you're going to have to forgive me. Hold on. And then you just have to look at my face doing nothing. So sorry. Okay, I think now that's listed publicly. Almost done. No, fuck. That wasn't right. Why is that? Nope, 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 nope. Hold on. I fucked up. Delete that. Okay. Aw, Maria Lolly giving me the love. She's such a sweetie. Okay, here we go. Almost done. Okay, that's it. Now let me go back to that. Streamlabs. Okay. I'm done posting the damn links. That's there, and here I am. Hi, guys. Oh, wait, one more. I'm sorry, I forgot. I gotta send it to my mod link. Because I forgot that, because I'm silly. Because I think I have one of my mods staying up to pop in. Oh, come on. Don't be difficult. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now I can focus. Okay. Hi guys, it's Sunday night. I'm doing a late night live, just popping in to say hi and have a little chitty chat about a couple of things. I just gotta grab my vape because I forgot that, and then I'll be ready to go. Okay, so unprepared. So sorry. So, it's Sunday night. I kind of had planned to stream last night. I did a Facebook Live yesterday. If you're on my Facebook, maybe you caught it. I was floating in my pond, just kind of trying to have a little bit of relaxation this weekend. A little chill time. Had kind of a stressful week. But, so yeah, I just kind of floated around the pond yesterday. It was fun. I was feeding the fish, and I did a little Facebook Live, just a little chitty chat. And I was going to stream last night, actually, but the day just got away from me, and I got a horrible sunburn on my legs and feet yesterday, and it was actually like really killing me. So I was kind of cranky, and I was like, I just don't think I want to stream tonight. Last night, that's how I was feeling. So I'm streaming tonight, and it's very last minute and late. But here we are. So I didn't catch a lot this weekend. I know there's been a few people messaging me still about Truthfully Trisha, and gonna be honest, I really haven't had a chance yet to catch up on some of the links that everybody gave me about various, videos to watch about her. I have not had a chance. I'm so sorry. It's just I've had a lot going on. I kind of feel like I need to devote a big chunk of time to that, where I'm going to sit down and watch like a bunch of stuff and maybe take some notes and stuff. Just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. So, but I will say I had a little think about a couple of things that I saw, and just, kind of going back to the whole Dr. Phil show that she was on with Sean and everything. And I did want to just say this one thing. Again, I'm sort of playing devil's advocate, this isn't a reflection on her. I know she's got a lot of haters, and they're all the ones coming to comment on the video that I made. And even in other streams that I go to, I still have people sort of saying like, so have you changed your opinion? I have to say, like, no, I haven't really changed my opinion about the whole subject of like abuse. I'm still sort of Jesus, there goes my phone. So sorry. I'm still sort of feeling like just because she didn't talk about abuse up until this point doesn't mean there was not abuse. I'm sort of sticking to that. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Again, I don't know for sure. I wasn't there. But that happens. It does happen. So you just have to kind of consider that. So that's that. But I did think this about the whole Sean situation. The whole reason, supposedly, why they went on Dr. Phil was that supposedly she was like addicted to live streaming and couldn't stop live streaming. And, I guess a lot of people were getting upset that she was sort of live streaming. Jesus, I'm going to have to fix something with my phone. It's clearly not working. Hold on. Let me put something behind it so it won't keep falling. I got it up on this thing, but obviously it keeps falling. What can I stick there to make it not fall? But I'm going to say this. All right. I do think if she was going to stream, on the regular, and her life was going to be part of it, that should have been something that was worked out with her husband ahead of time. She should have at some point sat down and had a conversation with him and said, look, this is what I want to do. These are my goals. I want to stream regularly. I plan to. And are you okay with that? I mean, I do think that should have been cleared. Hopefully that won't fall again. I think that should have been cleared with him ahead of time. if you're a couple and you plan to have this channel where you're streaming your life on the regular, that is a discussion you need to have ahead of time. And your partner needs to be okay with it, clearly. But I will say this. It seemed that Sean on the Dr. Phil show was saying like he didn't approve of the whole streaming thing and her streaming their lives and whatnot. Yet, isn't that exactly what he's doing now with ATX? I mean, doesn't he have his own channel? I have not seen even one of their videos or streams. I haven't seen a video of him or of her or of them together. I don't know. But it's my understanding that he has his own channel that he streams from. She has her channel, and then I think they stream together, don't they? I don't know. Maybe that's not right. But I'm pretty sure at least just he does stream. So it seems like they have the same goals that she does, which is to be YouTubers. So that doesn't really mesh with his original story. Hey, Lori. Yeah, I'm talking about Sean, her ex-husband. Doesn't he stream? I'm pretty sure he does. I mean, ATX definitely does. But I think they both do, don't they? I think he was even streaming on his own channel when he was still with her. So I am just going to point out that little discrepancy. He was sort of saying it wasn't cool, but like, clearly he's got the same goal. So that's a discrepancy and it doesn't make sense. So why was he on the Dr. Phil show complaining about her streaming in the first fucking place? Yeah. Anyway. That was just one thing I did want to point out. It can be like sometimes we can just, it's easy to demonize somebody and make them the big enemy and the bad guy and whatever, and then have the other person be like the saint. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I buy that. Yeah. Yeah, no, I know all about, is that my Lori? Yeah, that's my Lori. I know all about that, but, I just wanted to make that kind of one point about Sean was supposedly he didn't approve of it all. But clearly, as I say, he has the same goal, which is to stream and be a YouTuber and whatnot. So, that's it. That's my only point as far as that's concerned. Somebody did actually tell me earlier tonight, I was in another stream, that they asked me if I'd seen like one of her most recent videos. I had watched like one of her videos recently, and not all of it, and she was live streaming, and I made some kind of comment too, but I forget what it was now. And then I guess she did a stream over the weekend where I think she was like, maybe she was out and she was drinking, and I think she was like talking about hooking up with somebody or something. I didn't see it. I caught like I don't know, like 10 seconds of it, but I didn't have time to watch it. I was doing something else, so I didn't really see it, but I guess she's being criticized about that as well. And I think she did some sort of teary-eyed stream today. Again, I didn't see it, so I can't really comment. Maybe I'll go back and check those out. Yeah. Well, yeah, clearly. I mean, and she does have mental health issues. Like, that's out there. So, you got to take that into account as well. But she's definitely got a lot of drama. Definitely. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. Hey, Teresa, how are you, honey? Great to see you. Oh, I feel like it's been so long since you've been in here as my mod. So those are the only real big comments I think I have about that right now, because I just haven't been able to watch any of the videos that people want me to watch about her and whatnot. But as I said to a woman earlier tonight, like, I don't really have a fixed opinion of her in general yet. Like I'm not as familiar with her as everybody else. So, but she does seem to have supporters as well. I will say that. Like, she has no shortage of viewers. So there's got to be somebody that likes her because people are going in and supporting her. So whatever. But I have no emotional investment there either. So it's not like, you know, I'm not that passionate about the subject as some of these other people. But I am going to say I did see some stuff going down over the weekend. A lot. I mean, okay, so I talked about this on my Facebook Live. I've been seeing a lot of fucking drama. Like, I feel like everybody's starting to go a little nutty now. Like, from the quarantine and from being home and being quarantined and isolated and, you know, maybe not working, maybe not having enough activities and just bored, you know, and then you might have like partners at home getting sick of each other, being together 24/7 with not a lot to do. And kids, you know, people who have kids at home and no school, you know, that can get stressful. Yeah, cabin fever, exactly. And that's a thing. You know, see, us New Englanders, we're used to that shit. You know, we would get cabin fever when you get snowed in and you can't go anywhere and you got to stay in the house and everything. We can deal with it. But a lot of people aren't good with that. You know, some people need a lot of structure and they need their routine. And if you take them out of that, you know, then they can't deal. And it depends where you live too and what you have access to and everything else. So, but a lot of people are having trouble. I think a lot of people are getting irritated and irritable and sort of cranky and angst-ridden and whatnot. Because I'm just sensing it in the social media atmosphere. Like Facebook, everybody seems to be getting kind of uppity and feisty and whatnot. And I'm definitely seeing it on YouTube because there's a lot of drama lately. A lot. So, I know that there's been a lot of drama with like Diane and Wendy and Randy and then there's, you know, Sam and Ms. Wonderful, and Ms. Wonderful hasn't really gotten into it all that much, but I think she finally started talking about it a little bit today. And she's sort of not really affiliated with any of them, I guess. And I think Savage is in the mix somehow. I don't know. I haven't watched it. I don't normally watch Diane and Wendy at all. I'm not sub to them. I don't watch them or Randy. And so I haven't really been paying close attention. I'm just kind of catching things here and there. But I did go into Vinny's stream at one point, and he was very upset, very angry, kind of ranting and raving about, I guess, Irish Marie, who I'm not really familiar with her. And he went on a huge rant. And, you know, I've kind of always liked Vinny. I think he has cool streams, you know, with the music and everything. I've never really had a big issue with him. But, yeah, and from everything that he had to say, I mean, I know he's got a little bit of that shock thing going on where, you know, he can say things sometimes that are a little shocking, a little provocative. And I think that's just part of his character and his nature. You know, he's just sort of cheeky and whatnot. So, and he knows how to antagonize people, especially like snowflakes. And, you know, the shit that he says, it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't trigger me all that much. But, and I think he's funny sometimes. I definitely like the music and whatnot. So, anyway, but from the way that he was explaining his defense from, I guess, these attacks he's defending himself with, it made sense to me, and I could understand why he feels the way he does and why he's behaving the way he does. So, that's my 2 cents. I obviously don't know the whole story. I don't know Irish Marie, and I don't know the whole story. But from what he was saying, it made sense to me. I seem to agree with him and what he was saying. So, yeah. And the thing is you got to understand, anytime you attack somebody publicly on YouTube and shit, when you put somebody's back up against the wall, a lot of times, then they will fight back. Not everyone, but a lot of them will. They'll fight back, and they'll fight back hard. You know, I've had it happen to me, as you know. And then, but with some people, it's just like, if they just keep at you and keep at you and keep at you, after a while, like, I'll just walk away. You know, it's just like, oh, come on. It's just getting to be bullshit, you know. It's where they're actually, at that point, they're just creating drama for drama's sake. So they have something to stream about. So they have content. And I was talking about this on my Facebook Live, too. You have to protect yourself from people who want to steal your energy. You know, anytime you focus on someone, you're kind of giving them your energy. You're giving them your time, your focus, your energy. And if that isn't really a choice, I mean, it's always a choice. But if you're doing that because they're provoking you to get your attention and your focus and your energy, then they might be trying to feed off you in a way. They're stealing your energy, you know. They're trying to trigger you and get you to be reactive because it somehow gives them an energy boost. You know what I'm saying? And I was talking about this a little bit on Facebook. Like, some people get really addicted to anger. And, you know, there are hotheads out there who really get mad kind of at the drop of a hat. Like, everything pisses them off. And they're very emotionally reactive and they get angry a lot. I really believe that in part is like an addiction. And they're actually getting addicted to a drug in their body, which is adrenaline. You know, anytime you get angry, you've got adrenaline being produced. And I think people can get addicted to that, and it can become sort of like a cycle. And so it's like they get such a pump and such a charge from being angry that they then almost seek it out on the regular. Think of it this way, because I know I've experienced this. Have you ever like gotten pissed off and you go on like a cleaning spree? You know, you're like all fired up and mad and you're like mopping the floors or vacuuming or dusting or washing dishes or whatever because you're like, yeah, in a rage. It's like that. Right. Yeah. So, you know, I think some people can kind of get to the point where that becomes sort of like part of their personality and their temperament because of the charge they get out of it. And so you don't want anyone to use you as their supply of energy, you know, and there are people out there who will do that and behave that way. So just be mindful. I mean, it's normal for everyone. You know, everybody gets reactive sometimes. I mean, anger is, you know, I definitely don't demonize all forms of anger. You know, anger has a place. It's like a valve system, you know, or I don't know. I'm not going to explain it right. I should have thought this out before I started talking about it because sometimes the brain to the mouth connection isn't always the best, but it's like if somebody comes up to you and kicks you, you know, that might make you angry. And that's a normal response. You know what I'm saying? So like anger has a place. Not all anger is bad. If it wasn't there, then, you know, people could just walk up to you and kick you and kick you and kick you. And you would just sit there and take it. Like anger has a place. And it's a normal, healthy, reactive response sometimes. You know, if we see something being done that's cruel or wrong or whatever, you know, it's normal to get angry. So I don't condemn all anger, but how you deal with the anger, how you express the anger and all that, you want to kind of do it in a healthy way and not an unhealthy way. I'm already bipolar. I don't need any more help with moods. Yeah. Well, I think, I'm trying to remember what, truthfully, what her diagnosis is. I can't even remember. But yeah, you know, I mean, hey, we've all got our shit, you know? None of us are like 100% balanced all the time. Nobody is. But progress, not perfection. You know, I always try to look at it as a life process of just trying to do better, you know, and trying to improve yourself steadily as you get older. Yeah. So yeah, just be mindful of that, you know, like it's natural to want to defend yourself. It's natural to want to stand up for yourself, especially if people are like lying about you or being accusatory and, you know, defaming your character and all that stuff. Nobody wants to have a bad name or a bad reputation. And if people are lying about you, like I say, it's very natural to want to stand up for yourself. But if somebody finds that it's easy to provoke you and easy to sort of wind you up, and I've seen this happen time and time again on YouTube with certain people. I can think of a few people in the paranormal that I've seen that are like, they're easy to poke and to wind up and get a reaction from. And some people are very good at noticing that. And so they become like, ooh, poke, 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 poke. You know, you become like their little toy. And so eventually, unless you want to keep getting poked, you got to get to the point where you stop reacting. Okay? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And then there are the channels that do all this sort of just as like what they call scripting, you know, where they're just kind of making up fucking fake drama and then streaming about it. And that does happen, I'm sure. But I think you can probably tell when somebody's being genuine and sincere and sort of passionate. I don't think Vinny was faking it. Let's put it that way. He looked like he was pretty pissed off and he was defending himself, as he has the right to do. So, yeah, you'll probably be able to tell which people are sort of being genuine and which aren't. Yeah. So that's my little 2 cents about that stuff. And what else? I saw Meltin John, and if you're familiar with the Boy, that was like drama community, and then there's Boy, and I saw like Meltin John was going at it with Abby today. And now I subbed to Abby for the first time. I was aware of her because I remember I was lurking, like this is going back a while, maybe a year ago or something. I was kind of just lurking around Boy. I didn't really participate in chats all that much, once in a while, but I remember when Henderson, Meltin John, and Abby were all kind of in this big ball of confusion that was kind of hard to understand, and they were having a lot of drama and whatnot, and I kind of lurked a little bit back then, but I didn't really know what was going on. It seemed like some kind of weird love triangle. I don't know, but an online love triangle, which is even weirder than the normal. But, you know, I have been friendly to Meltin John in the past because he's from Massachusetts. I know the town that he's from, and I lived in that town for a couple of years myself. So we've chatted, and I've been friendly to him. And I kind of think he's funny. Like I've watched him at times, and I've thought he's been hilarious. And I do think he has that gift of comedy and humor. He needs to channel it a little bit better, I think, but I think he could probably do that. And so I've sort of supported him in the past, but I did sub to Abby today, and I was listening. I had never seen her on camera, and she was on camera today, so I checked her out, and I don't know, she seemed like she was being really nice and everything, and Meltin was getting a little upset that I was in there and talking to her and being friendly, but I'm not friendly enough with Meltin to let him sort of dictate who I can talk to and who I can't. So I sort of stuck in there, and I was chatting to her and to him, though. And really, I was trying to maybe see if I could help them just calm down and work it out. But clearly nobody was going to do that for them today. So then Meltin was streaming and she was streaming, and it was sort of strange though, because she started talking about being in love with him and how much she loves him and a lot of other weird stuff I'm not going to go into. But I will say, you know, Meltin was warning me, like, you'll see, and then don't come crying to me when you see what she's really like. And she seemed really sort of sweet and nice. But I will say, like, he was just saying, please stop streaming about me, and please stop mentioning me, and please stop talking about me. And then she went on to stream to talk about him. So that sort of did seem like she is trying to push his buttons. And so I guess my only advice to her would be, if you really love the guy and you don't want him to be unhappy, I'd stop streaming about him and talking about him, because he was definitely getting triggered as fuck. So that was that. But as I say, who knows? You know, some of these people, they do work this shit out ahead of time, and it's not real, and you never, sometimes you just can't tell. And I don't know them well enough to be able to tell. So that's that story. They're both a little odd, I'll say that. But some people are. And yeah, I will say, girls, meaning my mods, I mean, I do have John who's a mod, but he's not doing a lot of modding lately. So please keep your eyes open for me if you see any paranormal drama. I don't always catch it, so let me know if you see any so I can look into what the issue is. There are so many newbies in the paranormal now that I don't know who everyone is. But I still have some videos to make. I am going to be making the next video in my series 13 Reasons Why, which will be coming out soon. Good, Teresa. That's exactly what I need. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes and your ears open. Yeah, because I haven't been checking in on everybody lately. So, but yeah, I do have sort of, I'm planning out in my head the next 13 Reasons Why video, and I'm going to be making that soon. That will be coming out. What else? I posted a clip. I don't know if anybody was able to check it out. I got caught a very cool child voice on the spirit box, which I seem to be doing. And again, I did talk about this on my Facebook Live, so sorry if you saw that. I'm just repeating myself, but I was talking about how I haven't done a ton of spirit box during this pandemic. I don't know why. Like, I don't know. I just haven't. I guess I've just been busy doing other stuff, but I've only really done sessions like on 2 different occasions. And every time I do a session, though, I'm sort of like, oh man, you know, clearly the spirits are like eager to chat and stuff and talk. There's a lot of communication and talking in there. And I'm like, I should be doing this more. And then I'm like kicking myself that I'm not doing it more. But yeah, it's a very short clip. It's not long. And it's not a long session. It's just like a very short little clip, because I just cut out this one part where there was just, it was such a clear child voice. Like, you can't deny that that's like a 2 or 3-year-old child. You know, it was so obvious. And, but I seem to get those every time I turn on the spirit box now. I always get some kind of really, really young child come through. And it's crazy. You know, I mean, that's crazy stuff. And it's great evidence. And so I like to clip it and post it when I can. You bought a K2 meter last month. Oh, that's awesome. Fun stuff. Yeah, so I do want to start doing some more sessions. Oh, you do? Well, you got the Lizzie Borden house up there, which I've been to, but I haven't investigated there. You got a few... Oh, a few hits. Oh, cool. Yeah, there's some cool places in New Bedford too. Um, well, all over New England, really. So, yeah, that's fun. I definitely have some places here. Oh, your dad's family's there? That's cool. Yeah, and I definitely have some places here I want to investigate when the time is right. I don't know that now is the time, but you never know. You never know. Keep your eyes open. You never know what might happen. But yeah, I have a lot of crazy stuff going on in my personal life right now. Not all of it great, and not going to get into it tonight, but had a very stressful couple of weeks. So that gets tough, when you're kind of dealing with that stress sort of like every day. It's just like it starts kind of weighing you down a little bit, and I had to, over the past couple of days, shift focus a little bit so I didn't get like fucking depressed, too stressed and depressed. So, yeah, it gets overwhelming, exactly. And, I do have Asperger's. I do get overwhelmed, So like when I feel myself getting to that point where I'm like, okay, this is getting like really overwhelming, and I feel like I'll just shut down. And usually I'll just completely shut down for like a day, where I'm like sleeping a lot or just zoning out a lot, and just kind of like, I tend to be the type of person where when I get to like a low level energy, I marinate in it. I really marinate in it, and I just let it all in, all the bad feelings in, rather than pushing them away. It gets to the point where it's like, almost like they're knocking on my door. They're knocking on my door. I'm not letting them in. I'm not letting them in. And then I'm just like, okay, I can't ignore the knocking anymore. Everybody come in. And then I just like marinate in it so that I can get it over with as quickly as possible. If that makes sense. That's the best way I know how to explain it. So, so that I can then move on and get beyond it. And, I was getting to that point by like yesterday, so hopefully I'm kind of over the hump now and can get back to being, because what happens is when I get that way, then I'm not productive. And if you're a fucking New Englander, it's kind of like instilled in you, like you have to produce, just nonstop production. That's just how we are, like produce, produce, produce. You have to be productive. You have to be busy and productive every fucking day. And if you're not, then you're, a slacker. So when I get that overwhelmed and I start to shut down, it's like there's no production. There's no progress and things being accomplished and whatnot. And then I just feel riddled with guilt because it's just my nature. It's my nature because of who I am and being a New Englander. So that was one of the biggest things I noticed when I came to Louisiana, was like the slow pace and how slowly everything gets accomplished. And I was like, chop, chop, people. What the fuck are you doing? Chop, chop. Let's go. Get it done. Get her done. To get her done. And people just don't function like that down here. But that's a New England thing, and I was actually talking to someone about it, and they're like, oh yeah, Southerners love to hire people from New England because you fuckers work. And I'm like, yeah, I know. That's just how it goes. So yeah, that's kind of funny. But, yeah. That's really it. Funny thing happened earlier today. Couple funny things happened. One thing I can't really talk about. I don't think my fucking Mexican neighbors would watch me, but you never know. All right, I'm not going to say much, but I'm going to say that I know a chicken died over there again. But it's their own fucking fault because the goddamn gate to the back you know, they have this fence now to protect the bloody chickens, and the friggin' gate was down. So, yeah, it is a whole other world. New Mexico is laid back compared to Minnesota. Yeah, it's down here, it's just like another fucking universe compared to New England. Anyway, so a chicken did die over there. I don't know how it died, but I saw a dead chicken. And, but here's what else I saw. They had like a whole like line, a row of chickens, like single chickens, tied fucking up with ropes around their neck and tethered to the ground. Like you would tie out a dog, except it was like a really short little fucking tie out and the chickens can't move or go anywhere. I don't know what the hell that was all about, but it definitely looked inhumane. And I might be doing something about it. We'll see. I don't know if that was like a temporary thing or what the fuck was going on, but it was very weird. Anyway, but so there was that happened, and I'm very friendly with my other neighbor and his girlfriend. His girlfriend and I are kind of chit-chatty now, so today it was funny because they do annoy the fuck out of me. Like, there's just a billion things they do that annoy me. And like, they have a dog over there now, and it just barks incessantly. And at one point over the weekend, it was just like non-fucking stop. And I was like, oh my God, like, I'm gonna lose it, and I'm gonna go over and hurt someone. Anyway, but then tonight, well, it was like the late afternoon, early evening. It was still light out and everything, but like, it sounded like a fucking big top over there. It was like a circus. The music was so loud, I couldn't even come in the house and not hear it. You know, like, there was no room to be safe from it. I mean, it was loud. It seriously, it sounded like some big circus or festival or something, you know, was going on over there. And my neighbor ended up texting me, and she's like, how are you remaining sane? And I'm like, well, actually right now I'm trying to control like my homicidal tendencies. So don't rile me up because I'm already feeling like a maniac who wants to go kill someone. Like, I hate having them as my neighbors. Hate it. Hate it. So, yeah, but I will say it did stop pretty early, the loud music. And maybe it was just revenge for the dead chicken. Not that that's our fault. It's their own fault. Oh my God, it was fucking insanity. I mean, it was just really, really loud. So, anyway, that was interesting. But, and I have had quite a bit of like spirit activity in the house lately. Just a lot of knocking over shit. I've been seeing a lot of spirits. Definitely a lot in my bedroom at night. They seem to be really just kind of making themselves really known right now. And I'm sure that's just because I'm not doing a lot of communicating. That happens. They tend to kind of kick up when I'm not giving them a voice on the regular. So I do need to get a little bit better about doing that, giving them a voice. Everybody just wants a voice, like I always say. And yeah, so that's that. I think that's about it. Not too much else going on around here. You know, we're still on lockdown and quarantine and stuff's still crazy. And I haven't been getting out a ton lately other than to just head to the shop to pick up something I need. But aside from that, I haven't really been doing too much outside of the house, walking the dogs around the property, the usual shit. Well, now just Nick's. I did drop Juju off at Wayne's parents'. He had told me quite a long time back that he would take the dog, but never came to get the dog. So I actually brought the dog over there. And Juju's with Wayne now. And yeah, exactly. Just, you know, everyday, regular stuff. what else can you do? Everything's closed. You can't go to bars. You can't go to restaurants. You can only get takeout. So not a lot of options. But around here, you know, we have rivers and stuff and, you know, bayous, and you can get out on the water and stuff. And I'm hoping to do some of that soon. I did plant my little garden. I put all my starts in the ground. I haven't put my seeds in the ground yet. I still have to do that. But I'll tell you what, it has been pretty warm here the past couple days. I mean, as I say, yesterday I got a really bad sunburn on my legs and my feet. For some reason, I just put sunscreen on the top of my body and not the bottom. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I just wasn't thinking. That happens, and I got bad sunburn. So it's definitely warmed up here, and now I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be summer, and it's going to be hot nonstop, and I'm not going to be able to bear it, and it's going to be sweaty, 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 and I'm going to be hiding out in the AC nonstop. And I hate that time of year. Oh, really? Are you moving, or are you just re-signing the lease? I mean, it's not like Louisiana heat yet, but it's like in the mail. You can tell it's in the mail and it's on the way, and I'm getting nervous. And the mosquitoes have been fucking wicked here lately too. Like, I sit outside and they go under my chair and bite my ass and my thighs from behind. Just resigning. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Wow, that's a long time to have been there. Well, that's good. That's good. They should. I'm sure you're great tenants. So, yeah. I have been looking into a couple of cases lately. You know, I did think about continuing the Sims case, the Sims family murder case. I don't know. I just haven't been feeling it. I don't know that there's too much more to talk about with that. I have talked about a lot of it already. I guess unless there's some new developments, I might not continue with the Sims murder case. But I've been looking at a couple of other cases lately. One of the things that I do feel like, here's something I wanted to comment on. I did watch, I think that was the dog. I did watch the Chris Hansen, Jeffree Star thing. I'm going to make just a couple of quick comments about that. I think blaming Jeffree Star as if he could have somehow done something about that Davi vanity, I think that's ridiculous. You know, I think, you know, some of the outrage culture, like I get it. You know, I get why people get so angry and so outraged. And it's not wrong to want to change things for the better, to be sort of that advocate and activist mentality. There's nothing wrong with that. However, you have to do it in effective and productive ways. And I think when we start playing the blame game where you're blaming everyone, it gets a little out of hand. And when you're talking about young girls that are teenagers, look, I was one that I had very little parenting. Okay, so like, I was a fucking wild child. You know, pretty much from the age of 13 on. I was a wild child, okay? When I was 15, I had an affair with a 35-year-old man, okay? Was that okay? No. Was that okay on his part? No. You know, was that, you know, statutory rape? Yeah. You know, did anybody know about it? No. You know, did my mother know? No. Well, actually, she may have known. She probably just didn't care. I don't have the best mother in the world. But anyway, my point is that when it comes to predators that are going to prey on young girls that are underage, I agree with what they were saying in the Chris Hansen interview a little bit, is that these types of predators and these types of men, they know what to look for. You know, they know the signs of a young girl that, you know, maybe is like I was and didn't have the parenting and the supervision and the parental interest. And, you know, they also know the girl, but although I don't know how vulnerable I was, though, in some ways. Like, I was always a tough girl. Let's put it that way. But that doesn't mean I didn't have people take advantage of me just because of my age and immaturity. That made me vulnerable. So, anyway, but it's not about me. But I have raised 2 teenage daughters as well. I do think in some instances it can be appropriate to blame the parents, you know. I mean, you do have to supervise your children to some extent. I will say when it gets to the teenage years, though, you do have to start, you know, loosening up your control, and you have to let them go out in the world a little bit and start, you know, feeling their oats. And you cannot control everything that your teenage children do. You just can't. That's impossible. And you shouldn't try. You know, you do have to let these kids grow up and separate from you and all that. But you can try to make sure they're as safe as you can. And certainly, like in that case, when you're talking about a 10-year-old, you know, that was sort of, you know, he was preying on. How the fuck does that happen? You know, there's no 10-year-old that should be able to be prey to a predator like that. That at the age of 10, you know, there should be enough supervision there that child is safe. So if you want to start pointing blame at somebody aside from the predator, look to the parents. That's my opinion. In some cases, not all. Yeah, and I definitely don't think trying to blame someone who toured with him is appropriate. You know, come on. It's just, it's getting out of hand when you start trying to blame people like that. Really, I think the only reason Jeffree Star came into the spotlight as someone to blame was because he made a couple of tweets supporting the guy or something. Big fucking deal. You know, it's show business in a way. You know, like they're in the spotlight. They're celebrities. So you can't expect them to just be pure as the driven fucking snow and do every single thing right. People make mistakes, but that doesn't mean that Jeffree Star was encouraging, you know, abuse or supporting it, you know. It's too complicated, you know, a web to just be able to be that black and white, is my personal opinion. However, I do think it's good to start talking about kids that are abused and sexual abuse of children and stuff like that. And if that is going to sort of be a focus for people, let me tell you, that's just a tip of the fucking iceberg. The tip of the iceberg. There's so much abuse of children out there, you know, and sexual abuse. And it's usually happening in people's own homes, by family, you know, and it's usually happening by the people that you trust, you know, whether that's a clergy member or a school educator or coach or something. Like, it happens everywhere across the board. And I do think, once again, it's these uncomfortable topics and subjects that do need to be discussed, because the more awareness that is raised, the more you know what to look for and whatnot. You know, that's how you help these kids. How to cope with it if it does happen, you know, all of that stuff. So I do think they're good conversations to have, but focus on the right stuff. I don't think blaming Jeffree Star was the right stuff. And then I even saw this thing after the Jeffree Star, Chris Hansen interview. There's this YouTuber who's somehow he's like a psychologist, or, you know, I don't know what his title is, but he talks about the different psychology of different YouTubers and stuff. Like I saw him because he did something about Onision. But so he covered the interview, and I sort of was turned off by his video. You know, the way that he was describing how therapists approach people, it made it sound very manipulative and almost predatory in itself. And to describe that, let's say even maybe he isn't wrong and that's the process that therapists use, the formula, I don't know that you should be talking about that, because I think anybody who had never been to therapy before and heard this guy talking wouldn't want to fucking go, because it doesn't make the therapist sound very trustworthy or, you know, somebody that you would warm up to or feel safe with. And that's the whole point of therapy, is to create a safe space where you can talk about your shit. So I was really turned off by the video, and I hope he considers, you know, he did say he was making the video kind of spur of the moment, unplanned, because he wanted to just have his reactions while they were fresh in his mind and everything. But I think he needs to rethink his formula, because I found it a big turnoff. And I just thought of how other people might perceive it as well. And I didn't, and he was criticizing Chris Hansen's interview style and, you know, criticizing Jeffree Star, and I don't know. I didn't agree with everything he had to say. I don't even remember his name, but after the live, I'll put a link in the description to the video. And just please try to bear in mind too, with these videos, these lives that I do with Streamlabs, they take forever to post. So sometimes it can take up to 24 hours before they're actually posted on my channel after the lives have been finished. I don't know why that is, but they take forever to process. So they're usually not put up on my channel until 24 hours later. So you might have to wait that long to get to the links that I'm talking about in the live. Apologize, but that's that. I have gotten some new subs recently. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for the subs. Please don't forget to give me a like on my videos. Sub. Hit the bell. You got to hit the top bell to get the notifications, and share the videos if you're so inclined. And yeah, this was just like a little hangout, little chitty chat. And that's about it. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to touch on tonight. Don't drink bleach or disinfectant. Even if you're sick, if you think you're sick, please don't do that, people. Be smart. Thank you, Lori and Teresa, for staying up to mod for me. It's 1 o'clock, I think, here in Louisiana. So, and it is a Sunday night, so I'm not going to stream too long and too late tonight. But I probably will be doing more of these late night streams. They seem to work for me. So any of you insomniacs, keep your eyes peeled. You can always come and join me. Yes, definitely take vitamins. Good suggestion, Teresa. Much better than bleach. Oh, man. Some of the things that people say are very silly. But I hope you guys are staying sane. Please take care of your mental health right now. However you have to do that. I've already given a ton of suggestions before. You know, get out in nature, take a walk. You know, if you're feeling heated and stressed, you know, everybody's got to really try to not lose their temper right now. Just a bad, you know, formula to be inside, especially if you're with other people. You know, you don't want to be losing your cool with your family members, your partners, your children, that sort of thing. I know we're trying to quarantine and be safe, but if it gets to the point where you feel like somebody else their safety might be in jeopardy because you might not be able to keep your cool and control your temper or whatever, send the kids somewhere else. with a friend or a family member, or, have your partner go to a friend's or to a family member's, or you yourself go to a friend's or a family member's. If it's getting that bad, get some separation however you have to. Take the risk. You don't want to hurt anybody, and you don't want to, now isn't the time for relationships to be ending and all that. It's too stressful of a situation, and this shouldn't be when people are breaking up or stuff like that. This should be when people are coming together. And I know it can get stressful and whatnot, but reach out to people, get some advice from a friend or a confidant. Take care of your mental health right now, however you have to. I just don't want to see any violence and anybody getting hurt, or, permanent damage being done that you can't take back. So it is a good time to, do it. Find a new recipe to create even. But do it safely. There's just, I really think right now is a great time to indulge in your creativity. One of the things I was saying recently is we're always bitching about how we have no time. We have no time for our fun projects, all that sort of thing. Well, this is your chance, finally, aside from the people who are, there are essential workers who are still working, and it's tough for them because they probably feel a little jealous that everybody else gets to stay home. But for the people that are home, now is your time. We always talk about not having enough time to do all these things we want to do. Well, now you have the time. So get those projects finished that you've been putting off. Now you can paint or read a book or create something or whatever it is. We always have these little creative things we want to do, but we don't have a lot of time to do them. Now's the time. Let your creative juices flow. Do something different that you don't normally do. I think that will really help to, just keep your mind occupied. Anytime you start feeling like sort of angry or stressed about something, just refocus on something more positive. That's the best suggestion I can give. Like my boyfriend says, take your pills, Bear. Right. Yeah. Now's a great time for Valium, Klonopin, like anything that's going to chill you right the hell out. Embrace your pharmaceuticals right now. Legally prescribed. I have some cousins on the front line. Yeah. Oh, geez, that's tough. Yeah. Now is not the time to be perfect, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Who's going to try and quit smoking right now? Probably not the best time. There's a lot of stress going on. So it's do what you got to do to stay sane. If you have to have a cocktail or smoke a joint, do whatever you got to do. And for the people that might be partners to those people, I would say now's the time to be really patient, and keep your expectations reasonable. Everybody's struggling. Be patient. So that's all I got from Mama Ghost Queen. I have a preacher friend who tends to think I mother too much. So I try to control it a little bit. But anyway, have a great night, guys. Love you all. Stay safe. Once again, my inbox is always open. If you need somebody to talk to, if you need an ear, if you need some advice, you need a reading, anything, you just want to chitty chat with a girlfriend, I'm always around. You can always hit me up. Be good, be safe. Don't be too good, but be good. And kiss your loved ones. Tell them everything you want to say, because you never know which day is your last day or theirs. And try and be soft right now. Not too hard. We need some softness right now and caring for one another. And make love, not war. Don't let the demons bite. And I will be back soon. Love you guys. Till next time, I bid you adieu. Thank you to my lovely, wonderful mods. Love you guys. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. And good night.